Let's go over first just to the PulseChain prices, and then we'll get to why they're at what they're at in the short term here. So I did originally have, basically that we were consolidating against our historic kind of low from August of 2023. Now we've come down below that since almost 24 hours ago to another level of support down into this 4024 area for Pulse, which is where it's pretty much hanging out right now. It did wick down to like even 2. It did not. I mean, anything's possible somewhere, but I don't believe that it ever hit the all-time low anywhere that I saw last night, even for a split second. We've got Pulse X at 4.01585. We have Hex at 00564. We have Ink at $1.02. It was like 80 cents at one point I saw last night. Excuse me. We have eHex at 00139, and just for Ewok, we have PDI at 001754. So that's where we're at right now. We'll get into the reasoning of this short-term price action, but just kind of structurally looking at it, Ewok, at Pulse. If we look at that chart, we know the all-time low was 4016 or 17. Again, I know it went down to at least even 2 last night. We've bounced up off of there, pretty resiliently, pretty quickly. There was a lot of, which we'll get to this, but there was a lot of ugly sentiment out there. Posts being deleted out of embarrassment, thankfully, by people after the wicks down last night of the sacrifice announcement. I saw somebody on Twitter today say like, hey, it's screenshot season. If you know, like just screenshotting some of the reactions that the things that people do and the things that they say and act like in times of trouble, So, yeah. Anyway, DJ Moonboy, thank you.
Yep. Yeah. So looking at this chart, you were right. It did not get down to the 2.0 level, or even the all-time low was back in April, I believe, here at 5016, I believe, or 4016. Unless it was lower. No, that's it. Yeah. So
that's it.
Yeah, we hit just above. So 402041 was about where I'm seeing the low.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, rebounded nicely. I do believe there were people that were interested in buying at these levels rather than sacrificing. So that is a positive sign. And yeah, so it's come the whole way back up to, well, not the whole way, but up to 402474 now. It even started, or at one point it was up to 4028. So yeah, that candle was quite extensive here as far as the high and the low. It encompassed a lot of territory here very, very quickly. So ate through some cells, and then the buyback happened rather quickly. I was impressed about how quickly this retraced. So
yeah,
very bullish with that, I think.
I think so too. But if you even zoom out further and just look at the all-time chart here, you can, I know you're on the daily, but if you look at that or the weekly, there's really nothing. Doesn't really look like anything happened. You know what I mean? Yeah, intraday it makes you emotional and stuff, but look at that. It's not really anything that catastrophic. When you zoom out and look at it like this.
No, and honestly, if you do zoom out to the weekly, it's not as bad looking. We've stair-stepped up, made a higher low, stair-stepped up, made a higher low. Even though this low came down, I believe it wicked a double bottom here, from back in June at least, and held at that spot. So, again, it's not the greatest looking chart by any means. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. But zooming out this far, since March, it has done a stair step of sorts and, made some higher lows at least. So that is good.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I mean, you look at the damage that was done on some of the tokens just in the short term. I mean, this whole thing, and I guess we'll talk about it in this regard here since we're talking more about charts, but this event and where the ecosystem went to me was extremely reminiscent of when Pump Tires launched. If you remember
Yeah.
that, it was a weekend night, I remember. And this is very similar to what happened. Essentially the ecosystem over the hours went down like 30% like this, and then slowly started to come out of it and retrace. It's just that initial sell pressure, that initial reaction by people,
Yep.
So yeah, structurally, I mean, everything is still there, and not to beat a dead horse, but I mean, we're still just looking to the macro situation to continue improving for Ethereum to start going up. I mean, I know it's a meme almost now, like, oh, PulseChain, leverage on Ethereum and all this stuff. But everything everything below Ethereum is leverage on Ethereum in some way, just to varying degrees, and we still have not seen it move. So it's yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, maybe you could argue that our ecosystem is more, I don't want to say like reliable, but could stand to benefit more because of the Ethereum stack that we've had, that we have no idea if we still do have, and it's nowhere to be found. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you have any other chart thoughts on any of the main tokens?
Well, no, not really. Again, they all look very similar, I think, because they're tied so closely together. So, the bonding, the liquidity bonding has definitely, when you have a major sell off and people are at this point very frustrated, and being a little rebellious, I think at this point too, you know, where people wanted to get out into stable coins and do something else with their money, it's going to hurt them all. And I do fully believe this was kind of for a reason. Let's shake out the weekends that don't believe, and get it into some stronger hands. Like I said, there's clearly support there that defended at least a price, or a range anyway. And again, I think a lot of people decided to buy the dip rather than to sacrifice. So
Yeah.
Is what I think happened, and I do believe that was probably the right call.
Yeah.
If you don't have the ability to take some profit on an illiquid coin at this point that isn't really matured, I think that was probably the right thing to do.
I totally agree. I think it's pretty simple, really. I mean, like when you saw, obviously everybody was flooding to the exit gates to do one thing, just do the opposite. Just either hold and take no action at all, or when people were like, "All right, I have all this dry powder," I'm like, "Why do you have dry powder? Or how do you have it?" You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, because there's going to be one of these times where these people, if they're even legit, like posting like, "Oh, I aped into it with all my dry powder," are going to be pissed that they have dry powder still. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just sitting here, waiting for the intervals to come into DCA, basically. But I guess you can make an argument for always having dry powder, but what are you going to do?